Hello and welcome to the introductory video for these Mars Planet Field Analog Site classroom resources. For anyone that isn't aware, a planetary analog is an environment on Earth that can be used to represent certain aspects of other planetary bodies. For example, using the desert to represent the dry surface of Mars, and the Europlanet 2024 research infrastructure provides free access to the world's largest collection of planetary simulation analysis facilities. The project is funded through the European Commission Horizon 2020 programme and runs for 4 years, from February 2020 until January 2024. The transnational programme supports all travel and local accommodation costs for European and international researchers to visit 24 lab facilities and 6 planetary field analogues, which are the stars of these resources. These are the Rio Tinto River in Spain, field sites in Iceland, the Danical Depression in Ethiopia, the Galacadi field site in Greenland, and the Galacadi salt pans in Botswana, as well as the Argentinian Andes. As part of the education and inspiration tasks associated with the Europlanet 2024 research infrastructure, we have produced classroom resources aimed at ages 10 to 14 years old, relating the conditions found within these planetary field analog sites, linking it to astrobiology and the habitability of Mars. These resources have been produced around all planetary field sites, linking with common areas found in worldwide STEM curriculums, such as volcanism, pressure, pH and evaporation. To achieve this, we have filmed lab-based demonstrations and included them in the classroom lesson plan alongside teachers' notes. In addition, each lesson plan focuses on how the conditions of planetary field analog sites could affect the habitability of Mars. When creating these resources, we have tried to cover underrepresented areas of school curriculums to help promote the teaching of these topics. Following a study by Salim Sapor et al. In 2020, 3 of the subject areas that have a lower representation in high schools when teaching astronomy are physics, space exploration, and astrobiology. Therefore, we have linked these subjects into our lesson plans to the topics where possible. We begin by looking at a general perspective of extreme survivability in microbial life. Now, many of the more resistant species on planet Earth are microbial. So we're looking at how their cell membrane, which is usually the area that is affected, can resist certain environments. We also looked at the concept of semi-permeability within these cells. The first field site we turn our attention towards are the Danical depressions in Ethiopia. Now, this is one of the hottest areas on Earth, and we've used this to have a think about the history of Mars. In this lesson, we go through the geological time periods of Mars, looking at how its surface has changed, including the reduction of pressure, leading to the evaporation of potentially life-sustaining waterways on Mars. Moving on from that, we then look towards the Iceland field sites, areas of heavy volcanism. Now, with these, we've done a few demonstrations linking to the development of volcanoes, such as the formation of the largest volcano in the solar system, Olympus Mons, which is situated on the surface of Mars. We also took a look at a more general perspective on convection. Then we'll be looking at the Galacadi field site in Greenland. Now, for this one, we're looking at permafrost. On the poles of Mars, there are vast areas of permafrost. So for this, we're looking at the sublimation of dry ice as it passes from a solid straight into a gas. We'll also be looking at how the chemistry of salt affects the freezing point of water. You may be aware of a research project a few years back now that may have detected a subglacial lake at the south pole of Mars. So we took a little bit of a look into that as well. Next, the high altitude Puna Plateau of northwest Argentina, which is subject to a cold, arid climate. The area is characterised by hundreds of hypersaline lakes, glaciers, rock glaciers, hydrothermal systems, and environmental extremes with high UV influx, low water activity, extreme daily temperature fluctuations, strong winds, and volcanic-dominated geological settings. All these features make the region ideal as a planetary analogue for Mars and other icy planets. There are notable interactions between hydrothermal systems, hypersaline lakes and glaciers, both ice and rock. Given the extreme environment when present, life is typically microbial. Locally preserved stromatolites and other microbial carbonates also record evidence of life forms under current and past climate conditions. This works as an analogue due to the high presence of certain salts in the water, salts which have been found by the Phoenix lander on Mars. We also turn our attention towards the Galacadi salt pans in Botswana. For this, the theme is very much evaporation. These pans were a former waterway, a salt body. Now, as the water evaporated away, denser elements such as sodium chloride were left behind. Now, this is believed to be one of the reasons for high salt presence on the Martian surface. So we had a bit of an exploration of that as well. Lastly, we'll be looking at the Rio Tinto River in Spain. The Rio Tinto is highly acidic, so the demonstrations we developed for this one are around the effects of pH changes. The unique nature of Rio Tinto is caused by rock-water biology interactions that produces a river with a pH of 2.3 over a length of 100 kilometers. The low water pH and hydrated mineral precipitation is dominated by jarosite and geothite. This environment is comparable to that found by Mars rovers and inferred from satellite observations. But to really link this back to the curriculum, here are a few of the areas we have very much focused on. As stated earlier, chemistry is of course part of this, as is physics and space exploration. But now, as a bit of a treat, we do actually have a bit of a showcase of some of the demonstrations we've developed for this. But what's next for this project? Well, we are looking, after the completion of this Mars project, to do a similar set of resources relating to the icy moons of certain gas giants. One of the demonstrations already in development is that of condensing a hydrocarbon, much like the liquid methane lakes on Titan. For this, we'll be using a liquid butane and propane mixture. That does bring us to the end. The resources page is linked in the description and will be releasing weekly along with a short video introducing the lesson from the week before. The first of which is linked on screen now. Thank you very much for watching and best of luck adapting these materials to your unique teaching styles.